Is loneliness just a state of isolation, as many think? Or can it be a portal to inner growth? What if the key to understanding the world around us was hidden precisely in moments of silence and detachment from the world around us? In this video, thanks to a Zen story, we will explore together the 12 benefits of solitude and being alone, but we won't stop here. We will immerse ourselves in stories, concrete examples, and deep reflections, challenging common perceptions about loneliness and opening our minds to new perspectives. What happens, for example, when we find ourselves in the tranquility of our solitude? How can loneliness become fertile ground for creativity, compassion, and spiritual growth? Furthermore, are we ever really alone when we wallow in solitude? Or, on the contrary, do we connect with a larger universe? Prepare for a journey of discovery and introspection, and stay until the end, because you will have the unique opportunity to explore loneliness not as an escape from society, but as an opportunity to embrace the true essence of who we are. But before continuing, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share the video. In this way, you will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual and personal growth. In a monastery immersed in the greenery of the Japanese mountains lived an old monk named Hogai, famous for his wisdom and deep knowledge of human beings. Every day, watching the sun dance from dawn to dusk, I reflect on the depth of loneliness. Hogai told the disciples gathered to listen to him. Today, however, following Buddhist wisdom, I would like to talk to you about loneliness in more accessible terms to clarify this concept. Hogai described solitude as a valuable tool for personal reflection, self-knowledge, and spiritual growth. And he explained how, in the tranquility of detachment, Buddhist monks found space to explore the depths of their own minds, away from the distractions of the outside world. In this silence, said Hogai, we can discover the truth within ourselves, freeing ourselves from the masks we often wear in society. Solitude becomes our guide, teaching us to recognize our true feelings, desires, and values. Master, asked a disciple, can you teach us what the concrete benefits of solitude are and why we should adopt it as a true therapeutic practice for our soul? Of course, the monk replied. Today we are here precisely to see the 12 benefits of solitude. The first is related to deep self-knowledge. Loneliness, Hogai explained, is like a magnifying glass for the soul. In those moments of detachment from the world, we can peer into the depths of ourselves. For example, during a long solitary meditation, I had a revelation about my deepest fear, understood its roots, and learned to face it. The second benefit of practicing solitude is increased creativity. Hogai used the metaphor of a lonely garden. Imagine the mind as a secret garden, he said. In the tranquility of solitude, the seeds of creativity have the opportunity to germinate without restrictions. He told how, during a period of solitary retirement, he had written poems and painted pictures, exploring art without external limitations. Reducing stress and anxiety is the third benefit I want to tell you about, Hogai continued. Many people who come to this monastery are living a moment in their lives full of stress, anxieties, and fears of various kinds. In the calm of solitude, they find a quiet refuge where they can leave the weight of the world behind. Hogai described how solitary meditation and contemplation had acted as a balm for his soul and that of hundreds of people he had personally counseled. The development of compassion is another important benefit of solitude, said the master. By understanding my own loneliness, he said, I learned to connect with the loneliness of others, and over the years, I have been able to help many people who were lost. The improvement of interpersonal relationships is the fifth benefit mentioned by the Master. Being at peace with ourselves is the foundation of harmonious relationships, Hogai taught. And he told how, only after accepting his loneliness, did he become a more understanding mentor and a person capable of better understanding others. Hogai, in presenting the sixth benefit, spoke of how solitude had been his most precious companion during periods of great change. Embracing loneliness means accepting change, he said. Meditating on the events of our lives allows us to reflect on the best actions to take. Therefore, coping with changes becomes easier. The seventh benefit is greater awareness of the present moment. Hogai said, inviting his disciples to imagine solitude. In solitude, he said, every moment becomes a precious jewel. We can immerse ourselves, for example, in the beauty of nature and think about nothing for a few hours. In this way, we can stop thinking about the past, which represents what we cannot change and takes away our energy, and about the future, which with its load of expectations fills us with anxieties that we can do without. Solitude brings us back to the essence and simplicity of life. Hogai said of the eighth benefit, when we voluntarily decide to immerse ourselves in solitude, each act becomes a ritual of pure consciousness, eating, meditating, walking. Speaking from the oldest Buddhist teachings, Hogai explained how solitude was the key to spiritual growth. When we immerse ourselves in solitude, we experience a deep connection with the divine, whatever our religion, feeling surrounded by a sense of peace and wisdom. Autonomy and independence represent the 10th benefit that solitude gives us. Being alone is not weakness, but strength, Hogai said. When we learn to be alone, when we understand that loneliness is not something we should fear, we develop a sense of autonomy to manage daily challenges, and we learn to trust ourselves. Personal renewal is the 11th benefit. Solitude is like a cleansing rain for the mind and spirit. Hogai said, during a period of self-isolation, I experienced a kind of inner rebirth and saw a new perspective on my life. When we are alone with ourselves, he said, we can read the depths of our soul and understand what we really want from ourselves and from life. Hogai closed the list of 12 benefits with a reflection on loneliness as a bridge to universal connection. In solitude, he said, we discover that we are part of a larger fabric. Every breath becomes a song from the chorus of the universe. When I meditate in the silence of the night, he added, I can feel a sensation of unity with the infinite, feeling like an integral part of the vast universe. In conclusion, what does this story teach us? That loneliness is not something to escape from does not mean isolating yourself from the world and the people around us. Solitude should be seen as an inner refuge to face life's challenges, rediscover ourselves, embrace our true essence, restore ourselves, and find new energy. Therefore, loneliness should not be confused with isolating yourself from the rest of the world. It must become a therapeutic practice that allows us to develop and cultivate inner strength, independence, and self-sufficiency. In the silence of solitude, Hogai concluded, we can embrace inner independence, freeing ourselves from attachment to the opinions and expectations of others. Only then do we find true peace and true happiness. Loneliness is like a mirror that reflects the true self. Thanks to him, therefore, we can explore the most hidden corners of our minds and our hearts. Thanks to the moments we reserve for ourselves, we can do one of the most precious things of all, open an internal, compassionate, and sincere dialogue, thanks to which we can love ourselves more. Solitude, Hogai concluded, offers us the opportunity to cultivate virtue, face challenges with serenity, and develop mental resilience. Remember that in an increasingly interconnected world, finding time for solitude is an act of love towards oneself and the world around us. Solitude is the key that opens the door to our essence, revealing the intrinsic beauty of life and the deep connection with everything that exists. In every moment you live alone with yourself, invisible doors open to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world, and solitude becomes an indispensable travel companion on the path to wisdom and serenity.